I had one question,
Yes, please.
and this is in follow-up because I thought of this as after Dr. Eric answered my question and talking to not only Orthodox Jews, but anyone, but it applies to Orthodox Jews. And that Dr. Taylor might be able to respond to this too. How to respond, because you mentioned that they don't read Isaiah 53, okay? And I understand you're saying building relationships is important, very important, and no matter who you talk to. But at what level, what fears are there that they have? At what level do we lead? Is it the intellectual level, or is it volitional, or is it emotional that they hold their position? So what apologetic method do we appeal to reach them and build that relationship?
Well, with Jews, and I would agree with Dr. Taylor that the main objection is a historical relationship with evangelical Christians that try to evangelize Jewish people. You have to remember, Jews are taught in early stages of life about the ugly history of the church. And I'm talking, you go and Dr. Taylor is an expert in the patristics, church fathers, okay? And when I was his student in my master's degree program, in his program, I brought up a lot of the ugly history of people like Martin Luther, who made very horrible anti-Semitic statements. As children, Jewish people are taught this. Most Christians are unaware of this history that even exists. Constantine killed his own wife and his sons and his nephew, and he was a horrible, murderous person, but he led the Council of Nicaea and all this good that came out of Nicaea, but a lot of bad stuff came out. But Jews are taught this from day one. And so you approach a Jewish person, you're a good old Christian, you're trying to do, a good thing. And then you have to read Dr. Michael Brown's book about our hands are stained with blood. And you get smacked in the face with a history that is absolutely true. And so you don't want to just approach a Jewish person just to appeal to their intellectual relationship. You really want to show them what makes you different from all these other people that are trying to convert us. We don't want to be converted. We're Jewish. We're staying Jewish. Okay, well, that doesn't mean you can't believe in Jesus. Jesus was Jewish. All his first followers were Jewish. Just because you believe in Jesus doesn't make you not Jewish anymore. But see, you have 2,000 years of history. And so you as an apologist have to overcome that. You have to overcome and knowing what those barriers are before you engage a Jewish person. And of all scriptures, Isaiah 53 is constantly used to clobber them with. And so I would find even other methods that are not so overly used than Isaiah 53, because there are organizations now like Jews for Judaism, and they hammer Isaiah 43 and how to argue against it. Not that their arguments are better than ours. We can win those arguments, but there's a better way than just always trying to argue Isaiah 53. And so I would appeal to you to try to find those other ways and get involved in Messianic Jewish ministries and meet Jews, make relations, go hang out at the Jewish deli, go to the Jewish neighborhood where the library is, meet Jewish people, rub shoulders, go to the Jewish Federation events, get involved, join the JCC instead of the YMCA. There's all kinds of things you can do to meet and get involved with Jewish organizations, Jewish causes, Jewish people, meet them, build relationships, and they will come to you with questions because they know you're not Jewish. They expect you to believe in Jesus. So you're not a threat to them. But if you just walk in and they don't know who you are and you just start hammering Isaiah 53, it doesn't work well. I've been doing this for 25 years, so that's just not the best way to approach it.
I hope I didn't mean that that's the way I do things and you get in their face, because Paul says,
Oh, no, not you personally.
Yeah.
That's just what I've seen for 25 years. I've seen people get kicked out. I saw a guy go into a Jewish synagogue, a traditional synagogue, and he was one of these real hyper charismatic guys. And there was a Jew sitting in a wheelchair, and he went up on his head, grabbed his head and said, "Up and walk." And that guy was dragged out by the police. And, you know, it just creates a really bad reputation for all of us that that's not the way to do it. And, you know, getting kicked out of a synagogue is nothing to be proud of. And if anything, you just put up a bigger wall, and the hearts of these Jewish people are now even more closed off to Christians. And it's just sad what I've seen. It's sad. I'm not saying you're doing it personally, but there's better ways than just Isaiah 53. So,
Well, it seems like I'm talking to a friend that's a Mormon. We can use the same argument for Mormonism. We can't go in there and knock them on the head and just do that. It's just ask them questions. Why do you believe what you believe? Really, why is that? And, you know, just sit back and listen and build that relationship. But as I listen to this podcast and what you're talking about, the Jewish approach, it's like, man, where do you want to, what part of the wall do you want to stand on? Because there's many areas that you can become ingrained in and gain that knowledge. Do we have the time and ability to know them all? I'm saying not. It's nice to know a little bit about each one so that we can gather more information when we encounter them. But where do we want to be? What part of the wall do we want to defend? And I think that's something that depends on where the Lord, the Holy Spirit is leading you, I think. But listening to you talk, it opens my eyes more to the same thing I'm dealing with the Jewish or the Mormon area and their faith and what they believe, their religion is the same true as for the Orthodox Jews. They're ingrained, and we're not in there to win an argument. We're in there to do they know Jesus Christ? And that's probably the position we should take as we
asking questions is good. What you just said, you said asking questions, always put the onus back on them, especially when you're being challenged about your faith. You know, you can ask them questions, put the onus on them, put them in the defense. We don't have to always defend our faith.
Right.
You know, ask them questions about their faith. Okay. Very good.
All right. Thank you.